everyone, I have a really fun project for you this week. We're going to be making these adorable Winter Wonderland pillows. Sometimes we just need something quick and easy for the holidays to dress up our room and make everything feel festive and fun. And so that's what I've put together today. I made these two little pillows with some raw edge applique snowflakes. So they're really quick and easy. We're going to dive into this buffalo plaid version first. So let me show you what you're going to need. So for this project, you are going to need some solid fabric. I opted for solids just because I wanted that buffalo check pattern to really show. And so I have some red, crimson, black, and white for the snowflakes. And so those are the four that I chose. You're going to go ahead and cut some 5-inch squares out of your three prints for the background. Remember, the white is just for the snowflakes. Those are going to be 5-inch squares too, but I'm just focusing on the pillow itself now. And so you're going to need 4 of your black 5-inch squares, 8 of the crimson, and 4 of the red. And so now let's talk about how we're going to cut that, and we can break this down. So the 4 black, you actually don't have to subcut at all. Those are going to stay whole. For the crimson, we are going to keep 4 of them whole. Let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other 4, we're going to cut in half so that we get rectangles just like this, so that they measure 2.5 by 5. So I'm just going to line these up, and then I'll grab my little ruler, and I can lay this right on the edge and cut. And so that's going to give me all of the rectangles that I need. So I used 4 that I kept whole and 4 cut into rectangles. And then from my red, I'm going to leave 1 whole. I'm going to cut 2 into those 2.5 by 5-inch rectangles, which means I'm getting 4, 2 from each square. And then the last 5-inch square, I'm going to cut in half both directions so that I get 4 2.5-inch squares. So I'll cut once this way and once this way, just like so. And now that I have all of those cuts done, let's go ahead and lay this out. So my solid red square, I know is going to be the middle of my pillow. So I always kind of start there. And then the black goes in the 4 corners. And the crimson goes in between, just like so. And then I can start filling in around. One thing you want to keep in mind is you're always going to be alternating between either the black and crimson or the red and crimson. And so since this ends on black, I know on either side of these corners I'm going to have one of my crimson rectangles. So I can go around and put these in place, just like so. And then the red is going to go in between. And then our little squares are for the corners. And you can see how easy that layout is. You're just going to be alternating red, crimson, crimson, black, crimson, black. And that's how you'll know you have everything in the right place. And then we can just start sewing this in rows. And so when I did this, I like to just stack from the top and just have them all in a line. And then I could just work my way down. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we can start sewing these rows together. All right, so I'm just going to start right here. I did go ahead and put some red thread on my machine. You could use kind of a dark gray, but you don't want your thread to show through after you're working so hard to get this buffalo pattern. So I'm just going to sew with my 1/4 inch seam and finish up all of my rows. One after the other. Here we go. And this little project goes together so quick. And once I made the pillow, I think I'm going to have to make a quilt to match. There we go. And one more. There's my first row, and then I can just grab the next little stack and keep working my way down. Last one. All right, now I would just continue doing the same thing to the rest of the stack. I'm just going to stop here so I can show you how I press this. So one thing I want to point out is every single one of these rows is essentially mirrored if you're looking on either end. And so I pressed all of mine in the same direction because then it was less confusing for my brain, and then I could just flip these over to make sure that my seams nested. So I'm just going to pull this over here, and I'm going to roll all of my seams the same way. So I just pressed up because that's the way I like to do it. So I'll roll that one and set it aside. And then this little guy here, same thing. They're just all going one way. Just like so. And so now, remember I pressed all of them going up, so all my seams are pointing up this way. I can just flip this one over because it's the same top and bottom. And now my seams will nest perfectly. I can just fold this over here and take this to the machine. And so if you're not familiar, when I say nesting seams, it's this little juncture that I'm looking for. And you can kind of fold back and see where that seam line and the opposite fabrics are going to meet. And you just kind of feel it with your fingers when they lock in place and nest like I'm referring to. And so that's what we want. And when we press in opposite directions, it makes it easier for that to happen. So let's just go ahead and sew these together now. And just take your time because you do want all of those little junctures to meet nicely. There we go. So now let's press this. Those look good. All right. So now you would just continue on all the way across until your pillow top is done. I have one ready to go here, all ready for us. And so now we can add our snowflake applique. So let's go ahead and grab our 5-inch squares of white. And I have one here. And then I cut out using our Missouri Star fusible. I just cut out some 5-inch squares and I have that here. And so we are just going to go ahead and fuse this to the fabric. Now, I do want to point out, you can either fuse it to the fabric first and then trace your snowflake shapes, or you can trace them first. If you don't have a window or a light box handy, I recommend tracing them first because it's easier to see through. So be sure to grab those printables that have the snowflakes. There's 4 different patterns that are made for 5-inch squares and 1 larger pattern that's made for this single snowflake that you see behind me. And so you're gonna wanna grab those. But I do have a light box here, so I'm gonna go ahead and fuse my 5-inch square of iron-on fusible to my 5-inch square of white fabric. And so if you have not used this before, the fusible has this glue side. It's like a bumpy side and the paper side. So the bumpy glue side is going to go to the wrong side of your fabric. When you're working with a solid, it doesn't really matter, but if you have a print, you always want to be mindful of that. And so the paper is up. If you are worried about it, you can absolutely use a pressing cloth or something to protect it. I am just going to press this with a hot, dry iron and make sure it's fully fused to my fabric, which it is. So now we can come back over here. I have my little light box that I can bring in, and I'm gonna grab a pin. There we go. And let's see, let's just do this little snowflake down here. And I'm gonna go ahead and fold my 5-inch square in half both directions because this is designed to go on just 1/4 of the square. So now I can set this on here and I can see right through my fabric and the fusible to trace my snowflake pattern. So I am just gonna go right out here and down. And if you wanted to use a ruler, you can, but I found this to be really forgiving, so I'm not gonna worry about that. And down. Make sure I've got it right. That looks good. And so this one is really simple. And again, you could totally just hold this up to a window if you wanted, but if you have one of these handy, you might as well use it. And so you can see I've just traced it on 1/4 of this paper, and now I'm gonna grab my scissors. You wanna make sure they're nice and sharp because we are gonna fold this now in 4ths. So just like so, and I'm gonna cut right on those lines that I just drew. Just take your time. I didn't have any trouble cutting through these. I just made sure my scissors are nice and sharp. And you just kind of pivot down in that first little corner. There we go. There's my little snowflake. See, isn't that fun? And like I said, there's 4 different patterns, so I have cut out some of those other ones. Here's a couple more, and there's one more like this. I'll go ahead and cut out just so you can see the 4 different styles that we've created for this project. So let's cut one more. I've already got it traced, and now we can just cut it out. Now, if you wanted to design your own and not use our printables, you could totally do that. We all know how to make paper snowflakes, right? But this is convenient. Sometimes when you're making snowflakes at home, at least me, I used to fold it again, 1 or 2 more times. And so it's nice to only have to do these 4 layers when you have the fabric in there as well. All right. There is just something so nostalgic and fun, though, about making snowflakes like this. And you'll notice I'm kind of cutting off the extra bulk so that I don't have to fight with that and work around it. as I get to a place where I can. There we go. And we're almost done with this one. Just like so. Isn't that fun? So 4 different snowflakes for you to choose from. And so now that we have these, we can just take our pillow top. I lost it over here behind me. And you can just decide where you want these snowflakes, how many snowflakes you want. I mean, it's really up to you. And so on this one that you see behind me, I just put 3, but you could put 1 in every single square if you wanted to. There's really no rules that say how many you can use. It's totally up to you. And so I'm just gonna put, I think these 3. I like the look of that. So let's take this over to my pressing mat and we can press these in place. Move this out of the way. So I'm gonna start by removing that paper backing. And then just setting it onto my background. And I love the idea that, you know, we have 3 different snowflakes because we all know every snowflake is unique, right? So we can just mix these up. And then every single one of our pillows will be a little bit unique, right? Because we've cut these out by hand. And I think that looks really fun. And so now I'm just going to be really careful as I'm pressing this to press straight down. You don't want to slide your iron when you're working with these little pieces that we have here. So I'm just going to press straight down and lift right up. So we don't have any shifting, no turning of our little snowflake ends. Same thing here, just straight down. Just let the heat do its job. Fuse all those little pieces in place. Whoops, this little side is not fused. There we go, that's better. And then we'll fuse this last one as well. There we go. So as you can see, the different snowflakes that we designed, they can be as intricate or as simple as you want, and they still make a great impact. So all that I did for mine, because I kind of wanted the raw edge, was just do some straight stitching right around the edge. And on these guys, I just sewed straight across. I didn't even try and go all the way around. I just made it as simple as I possibly could. So let me show you the finished result here. You can see on this pillow, I just did around the outside of this one and straight across and around the middle of this one. And I like the idea that as this is used and loved, it's going to curl up a little bit and give it some texture. That was intentional. If you are not into that, you don't like raw edge applique, go ahead and do a blanket stitch or a little zigzag to finish off that edge all the way around. It's totally up to you. So that is this first little pillow. It finishes at 18 inches square. I wanted another one to go along with it. So I made this guy, which is just the single snowflake, and I just put this on a 16-inch background square of the red, and it's the exact same steps I showed you on the small ones, but we used a 12-inch white square and a 12-inch piece of our fusible to make this larger snowflake. So super, super quick and easy. I just love how it came together. And now I have this great collection of pillows. This is, if you're familiar with Jenny's holiday box, her Christmas box, Stars for Spin. And I just think all of this goes together perfectly. And the pattern for this adorable pillow that Jenny did a tutorial for is also now available. So you can make all 3 of these holiday tutorials and just be able to decorate your home or your bedroom just in time for Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I have a special little sneak peek. If you stick around at the end of this video, my cousin, it's actually Jake's cousin Emma, is going to join us and teach how to make these darling little gnome ornament kits from One Big Happy Yarn Company. So be sure to check it out. I'm here with Emma. Emma is Jake's cousin, but tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So my name's Emma Villanita. I started in a little Etsy shop a little over a year ago in October, so just right over a year. It's called the Crafted Studio Co. and it's honestly just a random place where I put DIYs and artwork and crafts.
She makes so many cute things.
It's really fun. I'm also a wife and a mother. I have 2 little kids, ages 6 and 2, so my life is constant chaos.
But it's fun. They are so cute and so happy. And we are going to make these adorable little gnome ornaments, and you can get the kits for these from One Big Happy Yarn Company, and we will link to those below, so be sure to check that out, and we're going to show you how to make them, right?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Woo.
So this is what you'll get when you purchase the kit. It comes like this, and you'll get 2 balls of yarn, one for the beard and a colored one for the hat. We currently have green and red, so classic holiday colors. It also comes with a piece of twine for your ornament hanger, a cardboard round, cotton ball, and a little wooden bead for the gnome nose.
Perfect.
So we are going to get started with the colored ball of yarn. We're going to start with the gnome hat.
Okay.
And what you're going to need at home is you're going to need something that is roughly 5 inches wide. At my house, I use one of my kids' Dr. Seuss's books. Misty gratefully had quilting squares, which I'm sure
a lot of you hopefully have one of our 5-inch rulers, and so that they're perfect for this.
They are, yeah. And you're just going to go ahead and wrap your entire ball of yarn all the way around until it is gone. Okay, now we have our entire ball of yarn wrapped. This makes roughly 40 10-inch strands. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our scissors and we're just going to cut the strands, or cut the loop into strands in one spot.
I have my own scissors over here.
Creating.
So you just slide them in here. Okay.
Chop away. Leaves us with an entire pile of 10-inch strands.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, then you're going to need your cardboard round.
Okay.
And what I do is I like the look of a chunkier hat. So I do 2 strands. It also makes the tying process go a lot faster.
Okay.
So I take 2 strands.
Got it.
You're going to fold them in half. And then you're going to stick the loop through your cardboard round. And then you're going to feed the tail ends of the strand through the loop. If that makes
just
sense.
like a little slip knot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're just going to pull it snug. And you're going to do that all the way around. So I'll show that one more time. So you take 2 strands, fold it in half, stick your loop through the cardboard round, and then feed the tail ends of the strand through the loop.
Did I do this
so
backwards?
You guys can see that. Just turn it this way.
Oh, okay. Just flip it over.
Yeah. And you're always going to be tying in the same direction. So I feed my loops left to right. Just make sure you're doing the same direction the entire way around.
All the way through. Okay. And then we just keep going. And you use this whole stack that
You'll have a couple extra, yeah, and we'll need the extra eventually, but.
Okay.
Okay, so now we end up with this jellyfish looking thing.
I love it.
You are gonna grab 1 extra strand and you're gonna lay that in front of you, and then you're gonna go ahead and get your piece of twine. Okay. This is roughly 22 inches, and you are going to fold that in half. With the hat, you're gonna push all of these strands back through the middle. So just take your thumbs and kind of shove it all back in. And then you can kind of see the brim of the hat forming. And sometimes that's helpful if you take 2 fingers and kind of wiggle it all loose.
That is so cute.
From jellyfish to hat.
Yep, just like that.
Okay, so then we're gonna go ahead and take our folded piece of twine and we're gonna stick it through the hat going the direction that we just pushed all the strings. So this is gonna be the ornament hanger.
So the loop is going through.
The loop is going in, yeah.
Okay, got it.
The top of the gnome hat. And you'll want really however much you want, but roughly 2 inches of the loop hanging out.
Like about there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take your hat and you're gonna lay it in the middle of your extra strand that you grabbed, and you are just gonna tie a classic knot right in the middle of the hat. And that is going to start to create that little beanie form.
Oh my goodness.
And if the top looks crazy, don't worry. We'll trim it at the end.
It'll come together.
Yep.
Look at that. I can see it. It's working.
It's forming. Okay.
That's
so then
so cute.
after that, we're going to put the hat to the side and we're going to move on to the beard. So you're going to grab your white ball of yarn, once again, your 5-inch material, whatever you found, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap the entire ball of yarn around a 5-inch surface.
All right, dive right into it.
Okay, so now that we've unwrapped our entire ball of white yarn, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut a 1 extra piece, roughly again 10 inches long, which is what we're going to tie the beard with. So we'll lay that extra strand in front of us.
Okay.
We are going to slip the beard off of our
Oh, we're not cutting
boards.
yet.
We're not cutting, so we're going to try our best to keep the form.
Oh boy, okay. I got it.
And then you're gonna just lay that directly in the middle and then again tie a knot. And you really can't mess this up. I mean, if it gets crazy, the beard just looks a little crazy and it's fine.
It's forgiving.
It is. And we'll trim him at the end, so it will all look good.
Okay, so
You
just
just
like
tie
that.
a knot in the middle, yep. And then you're gonna, once you have that knot, you'll take your scissors and cut loose all of these loops. So just slide your scissors right in there and cut them all.
Okay. How do you know if you're like, do you just pull the knot as tight as you can?
I do, yeah.
Okay. There's not like a magic.
No. That is the magic.
Okay.
And we'll end up tying this beard to the hat, so it's all secure in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, you end up with this wild beard looking thing. Okay, so now we have our little hat and our beard. We're gonna go ahead and grab our glue gun and our cotton ball first.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do with our cotton ball is we are gonna take our strands of twine and we're gonna pull them to the side. We're gonna put glue directly in the center of the hat and push the cotton ball in. And then once we do that, we will pull these snug. And then the cotton ball will help keep the hat form and we'll keep the ornament hanger in place.
Okay, awesome.
We'll go ahead and put glue there.
Put a little squeeze in there.
Friends who share glue guns.
That's right.
Stay friends forever.
That's right.
Okay, so go ahead and stick your cotton ball right inside. While that's drying, pull your twine strands tight. And then make sure you have your ornament hanger the length that you would like it.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
All right.
Next step is we're going to connect the beard to the hat. So we're going to find the center of the beard. We're going to find that one strand that we tied the middle with.
Ooh, okay. That's tricky.
Oh yeah, that one, just wherever your knot is.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And then you're going to feed one strand of twine through the center. And if you have, if it is a struggle to get it through, sometimes if you have a pair of tweezers at home, this helps a lot.
Oh, that's a good
Which I actually.
Okay. I think I can get it through here.
You're going to end up looking like this with one twine strand going through the beard.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, and then all we're going to do is we are going to pull that strand so the beard slides right up to the bottom of the hat.
Okay.
And then we are going to take our 2 twine strands and just tie a classic knot. And you're going to want to pull this pretty snug. This is going to secure your beard to the bottom of the hat.
Okay. Oh my goodness. This is magic. It's so
happening.
exciting.
Okay, so now we have this knot inside. I'm going to go ahead and clip the excess twine strands.
How much do you leave? Just like...
I just leave tiny
Just
little
tiny,
pieces.
okay.
Yeah, because what I'm going to do is we will go ahead and then put glue right on the knot. You guys can see that, just to secure it.
Okay. Cool. So then you just put a little dab of glue on there.
Mm-hmm. Right on the knot. And then go ahead and just push your beard up into your hat.
All right.
All right. Then we're going to do the nose. So grab your little beard, or sorry, not your beard, your little bead, And a tip I use is if you hang your ornament on your finger, you kind of see which way the ornament hangs, and so you can find the front of your gnome. So I will go ahead and put my bead right up here. And all you're going to do is put glue on the bottom brim of the hat and the beard. And when you insert the wooden bead in there, you're going to just want to make sure the holes are vertical so we don't have a hole in the front. Your gnome doesn't have a single nostril.
We don't want that.
We don't want that. It'd be cute, but we don't want that.
That's funny.
So you're just going to add glue right there.
Okay.
And then you're going to just put your bead directly in there.
Oops.
And
Mine's trying to run away.
Close your hat and your beard.
Oh, cute.
Just smush it together.
Squeeze around it.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. There we go.
And then lastly, we are just going to add glue around the brim of the hat, securing the beard to the hat just a little bit better. So I just pull these apart and see what little gaps I have, and then just again squeezing them together.
These are so cute, Emma. It's like the perfect little gift topper or stocking stuffer for people. It's so great.
It's so true. And it's the perfect gift for someone that you just don't know what to get.
Yes.
Because it's handmade, and yeah, it's the best.
I love that. These are so
Okay, so
fun.
now we all have wild looking gnomes, and every time I go to trim a gnome, I always think about like when you're a kid and you were either the kid that cut your doll's hair or you weren't, but we all wanted to be a hairdresser inside.
Yes, for just a moment.
Yeah, you know which child you were. So this is your
all
chance.
My doll's hair.
So
I'm
did I.
bad.
And here we are.
Yes.
So here you can live your hairdresser dreams. We're going to go ahead and trim the beard and the hat.
Okay.
And the first thing I do is I trim just all the long excess pieces of the beard, just trying to keep that semicircle shape.
Okay.
And you really can't mess this up. I say that, but who knows?
This is so satisfying.
It really is. And then something I do just to give it a little bit more of a full shape is I take my scissors vertically and then I just cut around the beard.
Ah, okay.
Just to create different lengths of yarn.
That's a great tip.
And if you end up, cutting one side significantly shorter than the other, something that really is easy to do is you can actually just pull the yarn to the other side and it all levels out.
Oh yeah, because it's still just tied in the middle, huh?
Yeah.
Cute. Starting to not look quite so crazy now.
Yeah. And then you'll also do the same with the gnome hat. Cut off all the long strands that are hanging out. And then for the top of the hat, I like to keep it so it still looks kind of puffy. So I just trim a little bit as you go. And like I learned with my dolls as a little kid, it doesn't grow back. So less is more.
Less is more. A little bit at a time.
It is.
That's funny. All right.
I know you can just keep going and going. But these really are so fun to make, just to gift as a handmade gift. And you can make them, you can buy the crafting kits and craft with your kids or your grandkids. They're just so fun and so hard to mess up. They're super cute.
Yeah, this is great for any age because it really is, everybody can wrap some yarn around
It's true, yeah.
our little rulers
It's
and
true.
make a great little project. These are so
Okay, I'm not
cute.
going to stop. Alrighty. There you have it.
We did it! I love it.
So I sell these completed gnomes on my Etsy shop. It's called the Crafted Studio Co. Or you can go buy the kits on
One Big Happy. Yep, exactly. And she has awesome projects besides these gnomes as well. So be sure to check that out. And she's also on Instagram, right?
I am, yep. Just at the Crafted Studio Co.
Yep. So thank you so much, Emma, for
thank
being
you for
here.
having me.
I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little project and have a wonderful Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Misty. Thanks for watching At Home. If you aren't already a part of our Missouri Star family, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want a notification every time we release a new video. I'll see you next Monday on the newest episode of At Home.